Welcome, everybody, for another episode of the show called Purpose Talk Splash with me, your host, Berna Pinto. And I am delighted my guest, Klinton Rebello, on this episode. So, hi, Klinton, how are you?
How are you doing? Nice to see you.
Yeah, nice to see you too. And I'm super excited to have you on my show because my show is an interview of entrepreneurs who have a purpose with their entrepreneurship. So, can you introduce yourself a little bit about, your personal side and what you've done and how you are at this point where you have started this journey as an owner of a fitness company?
So, of course, the journey didn't start as a owner or an entrepreneur. This journey started as a fitness trainer who had the passion to do something in fitness. Had some kind of a vision, but not a very, very clear vision. Over the course of years, as fitness training became more need to want to expand and to get and to teach more people, not just regular people, but also fellow trainers, got me to this point where a business opportunity came by. I grabbed it, and that's when the entrepreneurship journey started. The entrepreneurship journey at this point is still work in progress, like it should be for everybody. It's work in progress, and at this stage, I provide services to other gyms. I have my own gym, which I'm running, of course, P2P, business to customer. And predominantly, I still remain a fitness trainer. Those are my core values, and I still continue to be the fitness trainer and to continue to evolve in that department. So, entrepreneurship is part of my whole journey.
Okay, thank you, Clinton. What I'd like to know is like the start of this journey. Like, what inspired you to start this, and at which age or what time of your life did this start? And why did this particular concept of fitness catch up with you? A little bit about where you started.
So if I had to trace it back, I'd probably trace it back to school, where I realized that I not only had a little bit of athletic ability and, of course, the exuberance of performing a physical feat, or whether it was a sport or anything like that, or just a physical feat, whether it was to carry someone or to do something, I didn't realize why it actually made me that happy. I realized that it really brought out some kind of happiness. Only years later, I realized that it was triggering a certain hormonal response that was making me feel a lot of pleasure. Achieving a physical task that was impossible made me feel the sense of achievement. It was hitting my dopamine system. All of that I just realized much, much later, probably only a few years ago. So I was going with the flow, and that's the direction I was being pulled into. Of course, at that time, fitness wasn't really a career that you should have been chasing. It was not. It was looked down upon in a certain sense, and we was kind of stereotyped at one point in time. So that later on, that was the start of my journey. But I would also say that I had an inherent ability to teach and teach others how to do what I could do. So I would say
how old were you,
lessons,
Clinton? Sorry to interrupt, but how old were you when you started your journey, and how long has it been now?
No, I think I started my journey right after school. After 16 or 17 years of age, I couldn't stop hitting the gym. I'd love to be outdoors, and that was just a high for me. I could not do without it.
So were you working or
I was working, of course I was working. I was working, I think right from the age of about 21, 22. I was working after my fitness course. I was working, part-time, even at the age of 18, I think I was working. But, I was just trying to dive into the industry at that time. And then at the same time, there was peers, and there was classmates who were pursuing other things, and that was the right direction to do and the right thing to do. So I tried to go in what everyone said was the right thing to go, academics and in the regular careers. But this just pulled me in, and there was no way I could do without being physically active and teaching a physical skill. I think full
Okay.
blown work, complete work, I must have started at the age of 21. That's how early I
Wow,
started.
that's an awesome age to start. I mean, very few people or very few kids of our age, even us, don't have any direction at that point of time. So, was there an influence that led you to this direction, if I may ask?
So influences were, influences as let's say growing up, you were always influenced by sportsmen, and you were influenced by movies, you were influenced by action heroes, you were influenced by all of that. And then as time passed by, I realized that there was a career to do with this. And of course, I love teaching because it's very important to distinguish that there's two sides to it. You can't just have a mindset of a sports person and also be a teacher. It's two different mindsets. Every sports person, every good athlete does not make a good teacher. Some people do,
Hmm.
but some people
Yes.
don't. It could be about whether they play team sports, and all of these things really matter. But do you have the ability to teach, or do you have the desire to teach? And are you happy imparting a lesson onto someone? And do you feel happy when they get the results? And
Yeah.
do you feel happy when you hit a certain teaching system that works? So
Yes.
when I knew that I had that in me, and that kept me working. So there could be two directions I went into. There could be, I would just go into a physicality side where I would just look after myself, or I could have gotten to a side where I would also love coaching. But you can get into taking care of yourself so much that you would never work hard, because working hard is
Hmm.
also stressful in its own way, but it has to be rewarding. So teaching other people was very rewarding. At the same time, exercising myself was rewarding. They were equally rewarding. Over the course of time, teaching has become sort of more rewarding, I would say, than my personal prowess, because at the age of sort of hitting my mid 40s now, uh, knowing that you probably don't have your best, your peak is probably behind you. Your peak physical fitness is always behind you. So this aspect brings a lot of joy. You bring a lot of experience, and you feel like you've got another, you've got a whole road ahead as far as teaching is concerned. Just
Teaching
like a lot of
concern.
just like a lot of retired athletes love to teach, and they can't stop teaching, and they can't stay away from the sport.
Correct. So I can clearly see that your calling has actually led you to coaching, teaching, and just imparting your knowledge and meeting goals of other people in terms of their physical fitness has really got you that joy. So, tell me one thing: what are the accomplishments that you have had till date, and
You
what
know,
are the
that
challenges that you have seen till date?
well, it's very hard to state accomplishments, but if I had to really think back, I would say my experiences in the end is my accomplishment. I feel like when you speak to somebody who you probably met 20 years ago, and you still
Hmm.
get talked about, and sometimes you don't even remember what you've done for them, because by the end of by the end of 10 years, you've trained like thousands and thousands of people. I don't know, lakhs maybe. It could go in any
Yeah.
number. You can't really put a number to it, but you've trained so many people that you get thanked for it. And sometimes you get thanked for, and you get words are said to you that this your journey that you put me through was a life changing journey. And
Yes. Yeah.
that brings a lot of joy. Of course, the other accomplishments uh, would of course be, roadblocks would always be. Starting my own gym was some kind of an accomplishment. I didn't think it would be possible at one point of time. It looked like a distant dream. And but putting this business together and then making the business work was the other accomplishment. But I would still rate uh, changing people's lives in a certain way, or having an impact on them at a point at years ago, and years of making that impact and having a certain reputation, I would say would be my most pleasing accomplishment out of everything else. That'd give me the
Yeah.
most joy.
I can only imagine because it is very hard when you start thinking of entrepreneurship. It seems like an almost impossible task, but it's just the excitement of the journey. Like, I want to see what's there. Let's see what I can do as much as I can do. And if you manage this far, you'd be very inspirational to a lot of people who are also wanting to do something similar like this. So wanted to know, Clinton, if anybody needs to reach out to you, how is it possible to contact you? Are you, active on any social media handles? Could I, get your social media handles to give it out to people who are in my group, where people would love to know and get to know you, and also try out this journey of physical fitness, which is one of the most important things that we need to sustain ourselves in future, especially as you grow and then furthermore after your 40s and 50s. So please let me know your social media handles. Where can they find you?
Instagram's a great way to interact because you get to see who you're
Yes.
interacting with. Of
Yeah.
course, I use Instagram only as a source of teaching. But my Instagram, my name starts with a K, Klinton,
Yes.
81, the number 8 and 1. That's my Instagram handle. You can reach out to me at any given time. I'm more than passionate trying to answer queries, and I do that at any given time, anytime I have, of course. If I had to give anybody advice, is that the second question? Give somebody advice?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
Your message to the world.
So I'd say that there's always norms, and there's always certain ways to do things. There's always the right way, then there's a certain way that's looked down upon or whatever. But I think in the end, you've got to choose what you can't do without. You always see yourself doing. You've got to be wise, of course, and but at the same time, you have to seriously consider chasing what you really like, because that's going to make hard work rewarding. It's going to keep your physical health, mental health in place, because you can work really hard. You can think of making a lot of money, and you can ruin your health. And that's a very big factor. Once you're sick, and once your health is deteriorated, all you want is to be better. You don't really care about the zeros in your bank account and all of that. All of that doesn't matter. And while you have it, we all take this for granted. But one sickness and the mindset changes. But I would say that I would go off the norm a little bit. There's a saying, especially in this generation, there's a saying that when you're good at something, don't do it for free. I don't even agree with that, because I think that puts a bit of pride into it puts a sense of false pride into your work. I've always worked for free. My business started as a charity. I used to train underprivileged kids because I love to train underprivileged kids, and we called that United Strength, which happens to be the name of my gym now. Of course, I didn't continue the project because I realized I didn't have the skills for it. But we used to train underprivileged kids. We didn't succeed at it because the kids would be street kids and we wouldn't understand psychology. We failed at that. But at the same time, we got a lot of learning from that experience, and we did it for free. Eventually, the work got so heavy that I couldn't pursue that anymore. Maybe I would pursue it at another time because it gives me a lot of happiness. But if you're good at something, and if you have a lot of work, you will have no time to do it for free.
Correct.
That's another. If someone will phrase it another way, that'll be a great idea. But this is how I look at it. If you're good at something, and if you've not worked before, you don't have the experience, do it, because that's your practice. Of course, you're going to be taken for granted here and there, but in fear of that, you're still getting your practice in. You're still getting to learn. You're not going to sit it. So this generation is the generation we come from, especially in India, has come with a lot of free money. Kids don't need to work these days. They have careers which basically aren't careers. It looks like there's a career at the background, but there isn't. People aren't really making money. The kids have the mindset that, either I do this for a lot of money or I don't. You set up businesses that look fashionable, that look fancy, restaurants, boutiques, but they don't really make any money. And that's the mindset of those kids, and the other kids that that really aren't from that kind of background will never know the truth till the hard
Correct.
knocks of life actually get to them. Sometimes they learn the
Correct.
lesson a little bit too late. So you have to do free work or work at a cheap price to a point where it's impossible to work for free.
Correct.
And
Correct.
also my other advice is, if you really want to make it big, then sometimes at least at a good phase, and for a good phase in your life, I don't know how many years that would be, 2 years, 3 years, 5 years. There's no such thing as work-life balance.
Hmm.
Your work is your life. Everything
Correct.
that comes after that, even in terms of money or your personal life, everything has to take a backseat for a while. It could be
Correct.
2 years, 3 years, 5 years. It could be anything. Who knows, really? But opinions may differ. But this is my opinion, and I see that most successful businessmen who have great reputations, in the end, remember, your businesses are going to sometimes succeed and they're going to fail. Okay, so they're going to fail. Sometimes they will succeed. They might succeed for 10 years. No company lasts forever. There's a
Hmm.
downfall at some given time, whether it runs through 100 years, through many promoters or whatever. But businesses fail. But what happens in the end is, all you have in the end is your reputation.
Yeah, that's true.
Because if you let's say you fail at a business,
Hmm.
and you still have your reputation,
Yeah.
someone out there who's seen you doing it is going to back you again. Going to
Sure.
back you again, and you're going to get backed again, because people know that businesses fail. Everything doesn't succeed. And also,
Correct.
businesses take their own path. You can't
Correct.
completely have a vision and say, well, that's where I'm going to go. And if it doesn't go exactly like that, then there's no point doing it. Or you shouldn't be disappointed. You can't have disappointments, because your business is going to find its own way. It's like
Hmm.
water sometimes. When you pour
Hmm.
water somewhere, it just finds its own path. You can't predict exactly where it's going to go from on the
Correct.
dirt. It's
Correct.
going to find its own path. And you have
Yeah.
to be happy, and you have to be satisfied with that. I didn't want, for example, I wasn't very happy with the fact that my gym has a lot of students. I thought students were just not worth it. I wanted senior citizens, and I wanted people, high net worth individuals. But the business just went that way, that most of the income comes from students. And
Hmm.
tomorrow it's going to be a little different. So you have to be able to adapt. I think.
Correct. Correct.
I think there's a good combination of hard work, which I don't think kids have these days. Hard work is underrated. Academics are overrated, in my opinion. Uh, Hard work is underrated, and sincerity is underrated.
Correct.
I
Correct.
think if you're not sincere, if you're robbing from the business, or if you're not sincere, you may succeed, but that success is going to be short lived.
Hmm.
You
That's
you want
true.
a career, and you're going to live for another 30, 40 years. All of us in our 40s, we're going to likely be around for that much of time. So in the end, all you'll have is your reputation and your
Correct.
sincerity. And if you want to succeed for the long term, you better be sincere. So I think
That's true.
sincerity is underrated in this day and age. Hard work is underrated, and I think academics, I would say, is overrated.
Hmm.
It's not like they don't matter; they do matter, but I think it's definitely overrated.
Yes.
People with great academics, great skills, great talent. I think even talent is overrated.
Hmm.
Hard work and sincerity and temperament beats talent. Even temperament beats talent. Somebody who panics at the slight bit of a downfall, or if he has a business or some disappointment, if he panics and it lets it get to him here, uh, then you got to know when to shut your emotions off also. You got to be passionate. You have the fire inside. But some point of time, you have to learn where to use your emotions and where not to. So that's my only take, if I had to put it in a nutshell.
Okay, thank you, Clinton. There's so much that I have just kept in mind while you spoke about the traits that one needs to have as an entrepreneur, being adaptability, sincerity, underrating of hard work, underrating of jobs being done for free, and
I would like to add one more point. I think I've missed out on one.
yes, yes,
Is
go
the
ahead.
ability to work with people and get along with people. Because you
Yes,
can't do this journey alone. There's no such lone tiger. I think you know that's lots of people use that phrase now. I'm a lone tiger and whatever. You
yeah,
have to
yeah,
learn to get along with people. You are going to be your trust is going to be broken every now and then.
mm,
But that doesn't mean you don't trust again. You have the courage to trust. Most of the time, we will succeed. Sometimes we will fail, but the ratio
yes,
will change as you get past in your career, as you get further. That ratio of success will change, but you're still going to make mistakes, and you're going to learn from
correct.
those mistakes, and you're still going to have drawdowns. Nothing's going to be absolutely perfect, and you have to learn to compromise. My business hasn't turned out exactly how I wanted to be, but in hindsight, I'm grateful for the people I worked with, because without them, it wouldn't be possible. And there's no big company that is built on one person's whims and fancies. If it is built, it doesn't last too long. Everything is about how you treat your employees, how you treat your customers.
That's true. So just to recapitulate everything that you just said, that you need to be open to failure. You need to allow your business to take its own shape, and we cannot be fixed on how a business should go about. And you have to be able to embrace these changes as they come. Also, what the hard hitting truths that you said were specifically about the emotional challenges that one has, especially when trust is broken or trust, and be willing to trust again. It is a super difficult thing to do, and very emotional draining. But an attitude of an entrepreneur just makes you want to look forward, and that'll probably pick up the real entrepreneurs who want to make it happen, especially the ones who are chasing their purpose, not just the commercial purpose, but the real purpose in their business. So I see a lot of purpose in your business, especially when you want to coach, teach, and really being very open about the bitter truths of entrepreneurs, but yet having the zeal, the strength to want to go on. I see a sheer passion that has come about in your journey from where you started. And I believe and I know that you started when you were a teenager and now you're in your 40s. So you look at easily a 20-25 years of experience already, when so many people are just starting out in their life. So I truly commend you for your courage, your zeal, and wanting to be a change maker, a difference in somebody's life. And this you got when you were teaching those underprivileged kids, which you found that joy, and now you are willing to even go back to it once you have it. So I would want our audience to contact you if they really want to have a change in their health, while you are also showing so much of promise to people who have actually enrolled with you and become members in your gym, have come back to you thanking you, and appreciating what you have done for them without you realizing what you have done. So the last question that I have is, what is your mission, your short-term mission? Where do you have, what kind of a dream do you have for this business? And is there a legacy that you are building with your business?
So I would answer this question in two parts. First is, of course, I expect my business to expand. I want it to expand. I want to reach out to more people. I want to make things simpler for people, especially in this day of this day and age of internet, this generation. What we do essentially is we bridge the gap between fitness and health. So
Yes,
sometimes they don't really go hand in hand. Sometimes you can be really fit, but it probably not be healthy. Sometimes you can be really healthy, your blood reports are all fine, but you're not fit enough. You
fit,
just aren't strong.
correct.
So you've got to. They have parallels. They do have parallels sometimes, but they do split apart. So what we do is we try to make people aware of where we come from, where human beings have evolved, and we try to bring that back into their health. And we realize that as human beings, there were certain things that kept us healthy,
Yes.
and healthy mentally and physically. And we feel like those parts are underrated. They're not looked upon. They're not looked upon as important because there's not a lot of profitability in it. So I would say that every human being, to be healthy at his best, at his peak, mentally and physically, needs to have some pillars, needs to have physical activity. And the pillars of being absolutely healthy physically, mentally, at least from the exercise point of view, is good cardiovascular health. You need your heart to function really well, and you need circulation in your system, your blood vessels, your lungs, all of that to function really well, to feel good. Because if you're going to feel ill in those departments, you're not going to think right. Secondly is muscular strength. If you don't have a bit of muscular strength in you, and if you lose muscle mass, you're going to have all sorts of joint issues. It puts you at risk of diabetes. And then again, if you're sick or if you're not optimal, you're not going to be at optimal health.
Right.
Third activities is third part essential is non-exercise activity. How much of it is not formal, not strength, not cardio, just playing with your dog or your kids, or people look at it as 10,000 steps, but it's a lot more than that. 10,000 steps is a good reference point, but it was made for somebody to sell a watch.
Okay.
And some research done on it. But the three pillars are non-exercise activity. How active are you during the day? How strong are you? Can you rescue somebody from a fire? Can you lift something? Are you capable as a human being? Can you lug your luggage through the airport without a problem? So these, without getting into specifics of how much, these are the three pillars. You need to have optimal health on these. And when you do, your physical health and your mental health will be on point. Otherwise, you can do what the hell you want to do with medications. You can go to as many counselors as you want to. You're not going to be at optimal.
Okay.
But so what we do, I think, has a very deeper meaning. What gyms do has a deeper meaning. Because a lot of fitness professionals have that kind of an acumen. But there are plenty of fitness professionals out there who are well suited for you, could devise a plan for you, and it's just a matter of finding them. You can stereotype a person who goes to the gym, you can stereotype, but you will find the right fitness professionals, you will find your own path through this, but it's a path that you should explore. A lot of people are fearful of getting into training, and what happens is they worry about the short-term discomforts. What are the short-term discomforts? There might be a day when you'll feel a little out of breath. There'll be some days when you'll feel like you're going to pass out. You'll get a little blackout. And could happen, could not also. Certain days when you'll get small muscle strain and you will get a small spasm here and there. And, those are teething problems in every journey. But what you've done is you've dealt with those teething problems, but you aged really well now because you dealt with it. But it's fear of not having to deal with the temporary shortcomings or the temporary discomfort. Your long-term health is really affected.
Correct.
You've lost muscle mass in the end, and you're not cardiovascularly fit because you just want to play safe. I would say playing safe with this is like trying to make money by saving money. You can't do that because inflation is going to eat you up. So that's what's going to happen. Aging is like that. Aging is going to make it worse for all your systems. You're good today, you're not going to be great tomorrow. You have to take some calculated risks. So I have this vision for the business as a whole, the fitness industry as a whole, more than just my business. I think just looking at my business would be a little shallow way of looking at it. But I would say the business as a whole should flourish. People should understand the importance of strength, of cardiovascular training, and just movement in general. I think people should understand that, and if everyone becomes more aware, I think we're just a smarter species overall.
Correct.
So that's my vision and that's my plan.
Okay. So, and in terms of a legacy that you're building, you want to make people aware of their fitness and how, which with age, the progression, really things have to be, you need to work harder to feel fitter at that point of time, or at least you need to have a stable routine that you have now very clearly said about how we feel when we are younger and how we'll have much more challenges when we grow older. So, Klinton, with this, I just wanted to give you a short rapid fire round. And the first thing that comes to your mind when I say a word is when you're going to say it, okay? And the word is success.
Tempting.
Tempting. Okay. If you had a mascot to represent your business, what would that be?
Hard questions. Mascot. Tough questions. I would say monkey.
Oh wow! But that's an amazing one.
Closest that we are. I mean, the closest we are is to a monkey. So.
Correct. Okay, vacation.
Mountains.
Okay. Energizer of day.
Well, a workout for sure.
Okay. And the 5 words that describe you as an entrepreneur.
Well, passionate for sure. Hardworking.
Yes.
I mean, I'm not into blowing my own trumpet, but I would say passionate. I would say hardworking. I would say integrity.
Okay.
Integrity, discipline. Is that 5?
No, 3. I think no, 4. You can say one more.
I mean overlap.
It's okay. You can say whatever you think.
Yeah, I think the last thing would be, I would say, exuberance. Because sometimes you just get on a high when you've done something really nice. It's a high that is very addictive. So I would say exuberant.
Okay. So listening to you, I feel that you have that energy going on with you because of these 5 ingredients that speak about you, mention about you. And with this, I want to leave the audience with, your Instagram handle. They will be, available when I put the post on my LinkedIn post, because I'm available on LinkedIn. And as I'm creating a community of entrepreneurs who are purposeful, I have really been inspired today by what you said, because a lot of things, I know you, but there are a lot of things I didn't know. And while speaking to you, a lot of imaginations and a lot of things have made me nostalgic, that have made me realize from where and what kind of emotions are also brewing with you in your business. So I wish you all the best, Klinton. God bless. Lots of and I will leave you. Yeah, I'll leave you with, if you have any other message which you haven't been able to say as of now. Go ahead.
Well, I trusted Verna to bring the best out in me. We didn't have any prep for this meeting at all. I wasn't really briefed that, that's how I wanted to be. Otherwise, we felt like we wouldn't be genuine enough. And clearly, you could see that in the rapid fire round. I was a little dumbstruck. But apart from that, after a hard day, you need somebody who's going to interview just right and ask you the right questions and bring out the energy in you. And I think we did a good job there. Thanks,
thank you.
Thanks for bringing out the best, bringing the passion out there.
Okay, thank you, Klinton. So I leave all of you audience. Please contact Klinton Rebello. He's the owner of United Strength, and his gym is in Juhu, Mumbai. So have a lovely day, all of you, and look forward to many more such episodes. See you. Bye from your host, Verna Pinto. See you again. Bye.
Bye.